Two friends are out drinking one night when one turns to the other and says, I don't know what else to do. Whenever I go home after we've been out drinking, I turn the headlights off before I get to the driveway. I shut off the engine and coast into the garage. I take my shoes off before I go into the house. I sneak up the stairs. I get undressed in the bathroom. I ease into bed, and my wife still wakes up and yells at me for staying out so late. His buddy looks at him and says, You're obviously taking the wrong approach. He continues, I screech into the driveway, slam the door, storm up the steps, throw my shoes into the closet, jump into bed, rub my hands on my wife's ass and say, How about a blowjob? And she's always sound asleep. Three men die and go to heaven. St. Peter meets them and starts reviewing their files. He starts talking to the first guy. I see that you lived a good life, but you cheated on your wife 30 times. That's not very good, but not bad enough to send you to hell. So you can stay in heaven, but you'll have to be driving around in a 40-year-old beat-up pickup truck as a punishment. So you're free to go. He moves on to the second guy. You lived a good life, but you cheated on your wife 10 times. Well, it isn't too bad, so you can stay in heaven, but your ride will be a 20-year-old Toyota. It's not glamorous, but hey, shouldn't have cheated. Finally, he starts talking to the third guy. Holy crap! You lived a good life and never cheated on your wife. Well, my friend, you deserve this brand new Ferrari. Go on, enjoy heaven. A month passes and the three guys meet up. The first two guys are really enjoying heaven, despite the fact that they're driving crappy cars. But the third guy is really sad. So they ask him, You're in heaven, driving a Ferrari. What could you possibly be sad about? Well, on my way here, I saw my wife on roller skate.
Oh, she was blue slaps.
Farmer stopped by the local mechanic shop to have his truck fixed. They thought it might have something to do with the transmission, so they couldn't repair it while he waited. He told the mechanics that he didn't live far and would just walk home. On the way home, he stopped at the hardware store and bought a bucket and a gallon of paint. He then stopped by the feed store and picked up a couple of chickens and a goose. However, struggling outside the store, he now had a problem: how to carry his purchases home. While he was scratching his head, he was approached by a little old lady who told him she was lost. She asked, Can you tell me how to get to 1603 Mockingbird Lane? The farmer replied, Well, as a matter of fact, my farm is very close to that house. I would walk you there, but I can't carry this lot. The old lady suggested, Why don't you do this? Put the can of paint in the bucket. Carry the bucket in one hand, put a chicken under each arm, and carry the goose in your other hand. Why, thank you very much. That works just fine, he said, and proceeded to walk the old girl home. On the way, he said, Let's take my usual shortcut and go down this alley. We'll be there in no time. The little old lady looked him over cautiously, then said, I am a lonely widow without a husband to defend me. How do I know that when we get in the alley, you won't have your way with me? The farmer said with some irritation. Holy smokes, lady. I'm carrying a bucket, a gallon of paint, 2 chickens, and a goose. How in the world could I do that? The old lady replied, Set the goose down, cover him with the bucket, put the paint can on top of the bucket, and I'll hold the chickens.
A father put his 3-year-old daughter to bed and listened to her say her prayers, which she ended by saying, God bless Mommy, God bless Daddy, God bless Grandma, and goodbye, Grandpa. Father said, Why did you say goodbye, Grandpa? The little girl said, I don't know, Daddy. It just seemed like the thing to do. The next day, Grandpa died. Father thought it was a strange coincidence. After a month, the father put the girl to bed and listened to her prayers, which went like this: God bless Mommy, God bless Daddy, and goodbye, Grandma. The next day, the grandmother died. Now the father was a little worried. When the girl was going to bed again, the dad heard her say, God bless Mommy and goodbye, Daddy. He was in shock and couldn't sleep, so he went to the office early. In office, he would get shocked even by a little sound. He thought he'd just need to survive till midnight and everything will be okay. Finally, midnight arrived and he went home. When he got home, his wife said, I've never seen you work so late. What's the matter? He said, I've just spent the worst day of my life. The wife said, Well, you will never believe what happened to me today. This morning, the mailman dropped dead on our porch.
Oh my goodness.
He asked his wife to bury him with all his money. So this is what she did. There was a man who had worked all of his life and had saved all of his money. He was a real miser when it came to his money. He loved money more than just about anything, and just before he died, he said to his wife, Now listen, when I die, I want you to take all my money and place it in the casket with me, because I want to take all my money to the afterlife. Gee. So he got his wife to promise him with all her heart that when he died, she would put all the money in the casket with him. Well, one day he died. He was stretched out in the casket. The wife was sitting there in black next to their best friend. When they finished the ceremony, just before the undertakers got ready to close the casket, the wife said, "Wait a minute." She had a shoebox with her. She came over with the box and placed it in the casket. Then the undertakers locked the casket and rolled it away. Her friend said, "I hope you weren't crazy enough to put all that money in there with that stingy old man." She said, "Yes, I promised. I'm a good Christian. I can't lie. I promised him that I was going to put that money in that casket with him." "You mean to tell me you put every cent of his money in the casket with him?" "I sure did," said the wife. "I got it all together, put it into my account, and I wrote him a check."
That's very clever. Noted.
A married couple had become famous in the city for not having a single conflict in their 25 years together. Local newspaper editors gathered at the occasion to find out the secret of their well-known happy marriage. The editor said, "Sir, it's amazingly unbelievable. How did you make this possible?" The husband, recalling his old honeymoon days, said, "After our marriage, during our honeymoon, we went horse riding on different horses. My horse was pretty okay, but the horse on which my wife was riding seemed to be a crazy one. On the way ahead, that horse jumped suddenly, making my wife topple over. Recovering her position from the ground, she patted the horse's back and said, 'This is your first time.' She climbed back on the horse and continued with the ride. After a while, it happened again. This time, she again kept calm and said, 'This is your second time,' and hopped back on the horse and continued riding. When the horse dropped her a third time, she silently took out the revolver from her purse and shot the horse dead. I shouted at my wife, 'What did you do? You killed the poor animal. Are you crazy?' She gave a silent look and said, 'This is your first time. Well, that's it. We have been happy ever after.'"
Oh my God.